I am going to tell you a story. And this one it's the bad gift that refused to stop giving, huh? So, this is Hody Balakara in the trail. That's what happens when something way worse than a booty tickling happens. So, anyone watching this, I would have to ask you to go out on even more of a limb than ever before. Than on either of, if you have to ask the question, oh, maybe asking the question is enough, um, than any of the others ones. Like on the previous ones where we've been talking about this idiot, my cousin Jonathan. I have actually more than one cousin Jonathan, by the way. I'm talking about Jonathan Williams in Long Island, specifically. This involves you going out on a limb with me to believe in a conspiracy theory, frankly, that the Nephilim, or half angels essentially, have family, human family, that are still alive, and technically, that would mean me being related to that idiot means that I'm related to that Nephilim, to one Nephilim in particular, that he is also related to. Now, that being said, there's actually multiple limbs, like multiple branches I'm going to ask you to go out on this one. So, like, if you're already being like, nah, I can't go out on that limb, frankly, I can't argue with you. It's quite a limb to go out on. But if some of you actually like already believe in those, frankly, conspiracies, I was beyond skeptical. But I might actually be stuck in the middle of one, so like that's where it is. Now, with the Nephilim families, if you're familiar with the Book of the Giants, there is a book that goes with each of the Nephilim families. In the case of this family, the Williamses, it's the Kintamani Thought Gem. Now, if you are a human who is given one of these like sacred duties of being like handed the responsibility of something like a Kintamani Thought Gem, then you're called what's called an Ashtadari, or a weapon wielder. Now, essentially, this second limb that I'm asking you to go on is directly tied to the first limb. That like Nephilim family exists, Book of the Nephilim exists, actual, even if it's non-physical, Thought Gem exists. And if it's a Thought Gem, it being non-physical, not a hard leap. So, this little idiot that got its hands on the Thought Gem, like the Thought Gem, what did it want done with it? Well, it wanted what was done in the that we talked about in the videos. If you don't answer the question, I'll answer it for you. And maybe asking the question is enough. Which means it wanted to use the Thought Gem for its BS with the Micro Mookies. It wanted it specifically for that. Most powerful magical object. Because the Kintamani is the first book. It's the book of languages that is sometimes attributed to Peneme. And it wanted to use it for miniature idols. Now, with this being a Nephilim family, his mother, almost certainly the previous Ashtadari, and I strongly believe that that whole thing that we started, because if you're just coming into this, I'll tell you now, before, if you don't answer the question, I'll answer it for you. We got into why that little idiot Jonathan wants to have his own mother, apparently the previous Ashtadari of the Kintamani, or the previous Thought Gem weapon holder, because that's a thing. If Brahma gave you a Brahmastra, you're an Ashtadari. Which means if you're given a Kintamani, you're an Ashtadari. Which means this little, apparently still current, Ashtadari of the Vajramaya Kintamani Adamantine Thought Gem, when caught, wants to have his mother's teeth removed without anesthetic. Oh, no, actually with anesthetic, because apparently she's allergic to it, so it will make it hurt more. And paralytic, so it feels like she's drowning while it's all going down. Because she walked it after having an argument with him about not being able to get a Superman doll that could change into Clark Kent because there wasn't one around. Like, there wasn't one. It didn't exist. And not being able to get a naked Superman doll so it could be naked doing its, like it did with Hades and whatnot. She tried to head this all off at the pass and bind him to an oath to the Thought Gem with a Zapatum Karoti to not go through with this all. And what did the little idiot kid do? He slipped a Parivartate because it was supposed to be an oath that if he tried to pull this, he couldn't reincarnate. But since Parivartate is also the word for invert, he inverted the oath his mother made him swore to be able to get her to have to be, by oath, forced to compulse him to go through with it anyway. Bound his mother by magical oath to do Yantrana Zilaparana as the previous wielder of the Thought Gem, as a initiation gift, passing it on. How am I doing, Jonathan? How do you know that? So does that mean I'm doing pretty well, Jonathan? Idiotic cousin of mine. You think the Thought Gem isn't pissed that you pulled that with your mother? You dumb idiot little... You dumb DS little PS. You idiot, Jonathan. You can't. That's the problem with an Ashtandari. Ashtandari or Jiva. They have free will unless they're subjected to compulsion. Like you subjected yourself to compulsion to try to claim you had no choice with what you did, right, David? You didn't have a choice because Mommy compulsed you to do it, right? That's exactly how it went down, and you just don't want it to come out like that, Jonathan. You want me to stop? Why should I? Why should I do that when you did that to your mother, who happens to also be a relative of mine? Why should I stop, Jonathan? Hey, you. Whether or not you've gone out on a limb, suppose you just do a thought experiment and say that the limb is absolutely real. Am I wrong? Really? To tell you this. Just tell me what you think.